Hi, folks. Welcome to Crisco's Corner. The Associated Press calls plagiarism the new conservative weapon after Harvard professor Claudia Gay scandal. AP spokesperson said the widely criticized story was not up to its standards. Standards at the Associated Press? It's like the standards of the National Enquirer. Let's read on. Harvard President Claudia Gay announces resignation. Associated Press is the subject of sharp conservative scorn after it suggested plagiarism as the new weapon for conservatives after Claudia Gay stepped down as the president of Harvard following plagiarism allegations. Now, the crazy part is she didn't resign because of the fact that students at Harvard University were protesting en masse for Hamas against Israel about basically wiping off Israel from the face of the earth and causing genocide was against Harvard's code of conduct. That she didn't resign for. She resigned because of the multiple racist comments and threats and things that were brought up in her past concerning plagiarism. My understanding is she was caught plagiarizing for different papers and her doctorate from other people 40 times over a 7-year period. That's what she supposedly gets nailed for. The fact of the matter is she said in a Senate committee under oath that she didn't think the context was proper in a roundabout way to stop the pro-Hamas, anti-Israel people from saying horrible genocidal things at Harvard University. Because we have a Constitution, a First Amendment. Harvard University, there was a poll out where the major universities in the United States were picked for their openness to new ideas, new speakers, and is rated from 0 to 100. 100 being 100% best, and 0 meaning 0. We have 0 diversity when it comes to thought, political thought, social thought, you name it. Take a guess where Harvard was listed out of the 0 to 100. Pause the video and think to yourself. 30, 40, 50, 25? The answer is 0. They got 0 out of 100 for free speech, but yet this piece of garbage says it's okay to want to genocide the Israeli people because it's part of a First Amendment right here in the United States. That's why she should have resigned. Let's read on. Gates also faced widespread criticism over a response to a question at a congressional hearing about whether calls for the genocide of Jews violated Harvard's code of conduct. Gay initially said it depended on the context before issuing an apology. Claudia Gay, I'm not saying she's an unintelligent woman. I'm not saying she doesn't deserve any position. I'm not saying she's even stupid. But this is what happens when you have a DEI hire. This is exactly what happens. And I think I can make the case for other non-white people in academia, the corporate world, many high-power, stake, high-profile positions, the people that are non-white in those positions currently that earn them through their intellect or their experience or whatever the reason, and not because they're a DEI hire, and now being looked on as, well, you know, is it really because the person was qualified, or is it because of their race? This is what happens. DEI is a cancer and a poison on society. The Associated Press article was mocked on X, formerly known as Twitter, and its text and hostile framing against conservatives received several community notes. Like other liberal outlets, the Associated Press was troubled by the messengers in the case of Claudine Gay's ouster. In Gay's case, many academics were troubled at how the plagiarism came to light. Here we are, not because she allowed people to basically go for genocide. It's about plagiarism. And as part of a coordinated campaign to discredit Gay and forced her from office, in part because of her involvement in efforts for racial justice on campus. Racial justice, DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion, is a poison. Equity is racism, period. The campaign against Gay and other Ivy League presidents has become part of a broader right-wing effort to make higher education, which has often been seen as a bastion of liberalism. Republican detractors have sought to gut funding for public universities. They're swimming in billions and billions of dollars in money. All the private major universities are swimming in it. Meanwhile, I don't even know what a semester costs at Harvard. It's got to be well over $100,000 a year. I'm just guessing at the president's salary has got to be $300,000, $400,000 plus bennies, plus retirement, plus health insurance, the works. Probably gets 4 or 5 months off a year for vacation so they can go around and talk and give speeches at $50,000+ a piece. Yeah, it's a pretty good gig. The campaign against Gay and other presidents had become part of a broader right-wing conspiracy. Republican detractors have sought to gut funding for public universities, roll back tenure, and banish initiatives that make colleges more welcoming to students of color, disabled students, LGBTQ plus community. They also have aimed to limit how race and gender are discussed in classrooms. It shouldn't be really discussed at all. I'm not saying you shouldn't discuss it as adults. You're adults here in college. It's just amazing to me the twisted, slanted way they look at things. It did acknowledge reviews by conservative activists and then by a Harvard committee did find multiple shortcomings in Gay's academic citations. Multiple shortcomings. You know, they don't call it plagiarism with her. They called it similar language. You know, I saw a Babylon Bee that basically said that former President Claudia Gay gave a speech recently called the Gettysburg Address. I just laughed. Unbelievable. The Washington Free Beacon, a conservative website, Gay's work includes long stretches of prose that mirror language from other published works. By the way, guess whose presidential campaign was halted twice because of huge plagiarism context and accusation, and found out later to be true? Wait for it. Joe Biden. The Associated Press has a page about its news values and principles where it says unacceptable its reporters for plagiarize. An AP staffer who reports and writes a story must use original content, language, and phrasing. We do not plagiarize, meaning we do not take the work of others and pass it as their own. As you shouldn't. But it's okay if you're black. It's okay if you're a minority. She's a black woman, checks a lot of boxes. It's funny part is I saw a picture of her and her husband, not that it matters. Her husband's a white guy. How are these really high, progressive women, Kamala Harris, AOC, now Claudia Gay, and the list goes on and on and on, all have white husbands or partners? I find that intriguing, don't you? CNN political commentator Scott Jennings mocked the AP headline and wrote it was remarkable conservatives had the time to invent the concept of plagiarism over the last couple of months. Invent? Unbelievable. Harvard's president resignation highlights new conservative weapon, and we can go on and on. Representative Ralph Norman, Republican of South Carolina, wondered what the AP would have published if Gay was a male, Asian, white, outspoken Christian or Republican. Yeah, they would have crucified him. Over 40 instances of plagiarism over a 7-year period. My understanding is this is the shortest tenure of a president in Harvard College in its history, and its history is very long. One of the most prestigious and just academic excellence. Harvard College, a bastion of collegiate excellence, is now in the toilet. Why? DEI. DEI and the progressive leftist nut bars. I'm a college. We'll say I went to Harvard for 4 years and I owe $500,000. Now my Harvard graduate status is worthless in much of the world now as far as business goes. Oh, gosh. You know, it's amazing to me. I guess it's okay to forego attribution, crediting original authors, and to fabricate articles, dissertations, etc., as long as you're woke or profit off clickbait. Yep. At another point in the text, the Associated Press scolded conservative activist Christopher Rufo, who helped expose the allegations against Gay for using the term scalped. The report called it a gruesome practice taken up by white colonists who sought to eradicate Native Americans. It's an expression, so if you scalp a ticket to a concert, that means you want to kill Native Americans? They got her scalp as a reference. But the funny part is, scalping was not invented by white colonists. It was invented by Native Americans. It's amazing. Gay announced her resignation in a letter to Harvard community on Tuesday, which she said she would be staying on the faculty at the university. Now, if you see the woman right on the right there, to President Gay's left, that is the president of University of Pennsylvania, is my understanding. And she was also on this panel, as you can see. She resigned a couple of weeks ago. But she gets to stay on the faculty at the same salary. So let me see if I get this right now. President Claudia Gay is going to be on the faculty at Harvard for the exact same salary, and I'm sure the exact same perks, i.e. Benny's, health insurance, retirement, 401k, the works, but without all the responsibility of being a college president. And that supposedly is a demotion? Are you stupid? She announced her resignation on Tuesday, which said she'd be staying on the faculty at the university. She wrote the racial animus was fueling personal attacks against her. Oh, how about put in context? How about free speech? Personal attacks or free speech, President Gay or former President Gay, just like the students at Harvard were saying genocide to the Jews was personal speech. Oh, am I mistaken? Amidst all this has been distressing to have doubt cast on my commitments to confronting hate and to upholding scholarly rigor. Scholarly rigor? Two bedrock values that are fundamental to who I am. You are so full of crap, it's amazing. You know what the twisted part is? You know, a grifter does things to earn clicks, money, like a lot of the left does, but they know it's BS. What's frightening is the fact that this woman actually believes this BS. And frightening to be subjected to personal attacks fueled by racist, racial animus. Unbelievable. Oh, it's just incredible to me. The Associated Press know that plagiarism was a cardinal sin in academia before it declared to be a weapon for conservatives. Now they call it similar language. The plagiarism allegations come not from her academic peers, but her political foes, led by conservatives who sought to oust Gay and put her career under intense scrutiny and hoping of finding a fatal flaw. Of course her academic peers wouldn't say anything. They would be outcasts. They would be outcasts. This reminds me so much of the old system in the Soviet Union, where everybody in charge knew some people were full of crap, but didn't dare say anything. They become a target themselves. That's exactly what this is. They're her peers. Give me a break. It's amazing to me. It truly is. Well, there you are, former Harvard President Claudia Gay, Dr. Claudia Gay. Yeah, you're going to get the same salary for a lot less work and a lot less responsibility. Oh, boo-hoo. You were a DEI hire. DEI is a cancer on everything it touches, whether it be academia, corporate, headquarters, corporate life, just anything it touches. It destroys and twists. And it's just evil. Racism is evil. And DEI is racism. Until the next time, God bless, goodbye, and good luck.